There's been a lot of discussion around whether the mark is going to be forced on people or not. And I just want to give peace straight out of God's word that that's not going to happen. And we covered some of this in the Mark of the Beast, our addendum to Chapter 2 in our War with the Beast series, which was the image of the beast, because they're directly connected. And we'll be going over this again when we go through the book of Revelation soon. But I just wanted to get this out there and really nail it down for you. So let's start right here. Chapter 19. And what do we see here? The beast was taken, and with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast, and them that worshipped his image. It's very clear. Excuse me. Right? It's very clear. He deceived those who worshiped the image and received the mark. There's no doubt. Okay? Now, let's go back to chapter 14 and start right here with the angel speaking. Look at the way he phrases this. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, "If any man worships the beast and his image and receives his mark," right? If any. If you do it. And to really make it very clear that this isn't anything to do with translation, if any, right, literally translates if any. So, and we don't always get that, as we've seen. It's literally if any. So if anyone worships, if you do this, that's what he's saying. If you do it. He's not saying it's going to be forced on you, right? There's no indication of that. So it's very clear here. Now let's go to chapter 13 and watch this. I haven't seen anybody show this yet. This is the sentence we're all caught up on. Most of us aren't looking at chapter 19 and the angel in 14, and my eyes were just open to that within, I'd say, 10 days. So that's something new to me, but I just started, oh, there it is. There's the angel telling us right there. But watch this. And he causes, I'll just paraphrase. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, right? Where it is not relevant to our discussion here. You're going to receive it. Causing everybody. And when we look at the Greek for cause, right, it says, literally, to make. Okay, so this looks like you're going to be made to do it, right? But let's go through the whole sentence. He caused all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. Did you notice something? We have one word here and two words here. Okay? So let's look at the first one, G1325. Let's open that up real quick. It says to give. Okay? The first word is to give. Very clear. Now look at the second word, G846. You studied Greek, you probably know what this one is. It means self. To give themselves is what it literally translates to. So he's going to cause them. Let's read that again. And he will cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to give themselves a mark. Because why? Because he deceived them to get it, or to give themselves it, right? All right, So let's go now to chapter 15. And this is something we saw in the mark of the beast that we've already looked at. And I saw, as it were, a sea of glass mingled with fire, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark. They got victory over the mark. These people definitely did not get the mark. Only those who were deceived got the mark. Right? And deceived by what? By thy pharmakia. And for those who haven't seen this yet, I'll just bring up the Greek on that. Sorceries in Greek is pharmakia. Medication, pharmacy. So, by pharmaceutical lie, all nations are deceived. Okay? It's very clear. So, it will not be forced. The angel tells us, he's giving us a warning here. If you do it, right, you don't have to worship the beast. We know who that is. You don't have to worship the image. We know who that is. You don't have to receive the mark. And if you watch chapter 4, you'll see me saying quite literally what the, I'll say, mouthpiece for England just said 2 days ago. I said that they're going to make it tough. If you want to live in the things of the world, the things that are going to be gone after the Lord comes, if you want to have those things, you will get this thing. You want to go to the clubs, you want to go watch movies, you want, theater, sporting events, what have you. And he literally just outlined that 2 days ago, very clearly. So, just be ready to live plain and simple and humble. And he'll be here soon, as we saw in our last video. So, now let me show you the one of the prototypes of what the mark's going to be. Okay, so here we have a piece of pigskin and a timer, 5-minute timer. And here is our prototype. All right, and what you'll see on here is there's about 16 needles. And what happens is the stems will dissolve off and the tips will stay in you. And for those of you who've been following along, and I'm sure most of you have, you're familiar with the Lucifer ingredient, luciferase, right? And so that's what we're going to see at the end. So I'll make some comments, but let's let this gentleman do his thing, and we can watch. So he's showing us that there's nothing in the skin with this lens that he has on there. I'm not sure if it's a lens or a software. I'll have to go back and refresh my memory on that. All right, there's the needles with the luciferase in the tips. He's going to take it. And it's really easy, right? It's just a mask. It's just a patch. Okay, so 5 minutes later, the needles have now dissolved. And there's nothing to see. Right? You can't see the eternal damnation yet. Needles are gone, he's showing us. And here's our lens. You can see it. There we go. And there it is. So, yeah. There we go. And the last that I heard, the name of it was called, give me a second here. It was called Trust Stamp. That was the name of it, the Trust Stamp. And that's who the billionaire in the bank, MasterCard, is working with a company called Trust Stamp. So, it's very clear. It's not going to be forced on us, but they're going to make it tough, like I said months ago. So just be ready. If you need to get some food, especially if you're in a big city, it might get tougher there than it will out in the country, because it seems like people out in the country are a little more, bonded together. You know what I mean? They go back further in their families, and they will watch out for each other more than people in the cities. That's what the cities are designed for. Excuse me. That's what the cities are designed for. All right, so we'll see you next time. Peace of Yah be with you, and don't be afraid. Do not be afraid.